you became very interested in organ donation.
Yeah.
So when I don't know
This is
nothing
a
about this
crazy
other
story.
than
You're
going
gonna
to
love this story, dude.
All right, we're
This
going
is
to end
crazy.
on this one.
A friend of mine is a filmmaker. He makes a lot of shorts. His name is, I don't want to say his name because I haven't said his name in the past, but I'll tell you off the podcast.
Sure.
So he's similar industry as you. And I graduated with him in 1988, haven't laid eyes on him in
From
32
college or
years.
high school?
Haven't laid eyes on him in 32 years. One instance where we exchanged on Messenger about 7 years ago, and I knew of him somewhat, but we weren't tight or friends or anything like that. And then I noticed that I had a friend just 3 weekends ago. He had sent me a friend request, and I had never accepted it. So I finally accepted that and went about my day. He right away sends me a message. He says, "Hey, man, how are you?" I'm like, "Oh, hey, good to hear your voice. How are you?" Blah, 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 blah. And within the course of the messages, he reveals he's struggling with a health issue. And that's it. We continue to talk more, and then about 3, 4, 5 messages in later on, he mentions it again. I have a very serious health issue. Maybe if you're interested, I'll tell you about it. And I wrote.
And you're supposed to say.
And I wrote, I am interested.
Right.
And then so I was like, I am interested. Let's have a conversation. I'll call you. What's your number? Gives me his number, and then he says, gives me the preview. He says, I've got stage 5 kidney disease. So that's it. There's no stage 6, and he's on dialysis 12 hours a day. And he goes, yeah, it's terrible. You have to hunt for your own kidney donor, your own living donor, and I've been through this with 7 other people, and it's a very strict process. And each time we've gotten to a certain point in trying to find.
Wait, you're supposed to
that's
find
what
a kidney?
yes, that you're supposed to find it on your own. It's because otherwise, the donor list is so long you won't find it. So
I guess so. It's another tangent. There is something. He's on I'm sure some registry.
Yep.
But you can certainly improve your situation by
trying to get your own person.
calling high school classmates.
Sure, if that
I
were the
bet
case.
facetiously, but
Yes,
and
that's the thing. He has actually done that with like his sister and stuff like that. So he said, "Yeah, I've had my heart broken a few times." And I go, "Oh, okay." So that he didn't say anything. So then I got to thinking, and I described it as God was talking to me and banging me over the head, and I'm listening to this voice in my head, and I'm like, huh. And then, so I didn't say anything to the guy. I didn't want to say anything at all, but in my head, I'm thinking it. So then I said to Dan, I go, hey, I got to run something by you. And I gave her all the variables that I just gave you, 32 years, haven't talked to him. I go, and you found out that this friend needed a kidney. Would you be willing to donate it? And in an instant, she said, yes, I would do that. So I go, so would I. Hey, so then I got her up to speed. I go, would you want to do this? And she goes, yeah, I would. I really would like to do this. I go, So a little bit of time passes, and I reach out to him. I go, so look, man, what is your blood type? Diana is O negative, or I forget which one is which. Which one is universal?
I don't know.
And I'm O positive. I go, what is your blood type? And he goes, I'm O positive. So that means he matches with me, and Diana's universal, so she would match with anybody. I go, because we're talking about giving a kidney to you. We would be willing to do that. And he's like, wow, you're going to make me cry. That's a very hard ask to ask somebody.
And
I go,
said, well, you didn't ask.
And that's what I said. I go, you didn't. I just thought about it. And so let's start this conversation. Within a day, we had talked extensively, and we got in touch with the people we submitted a form with the organization that he associated with, the UCLA Living Donor Association, or whatever it is, at that college, a medical college, and filled out this. Took 10 minutes, a form. Mm-hmm. Diana did the same thing. Within 2 days, we got a phone call, and that's hurdle 1 is filling out the form. Hurdle 2 is they ask you questions. There's a lot of hurdles. It's like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Ask for your access to your medical records. They go and they look at it. So we're going through this process, and if it comes down to it, this guy's going to get a new kidney.
Wow.
And
That's
so
amazing.
yeah, and then we've even gone so far.
I think you should just pass it off on Diana and
Well,
just sort of hand it over and just go, you're universal.
You can do it, yeah.
I know I brought it up,
It is
but
a
I can't-
really, really rigid, strict set of protocols that
can't
have to
imagine.
take place, and so
Because they can't make mistakes.
no.
There
So
can't
this
be
is
bad apples.
I'm extremely excited about this. I am just so happy to be part of this, and to a point where if Like, I want to be a living donor now. I want to be an advocate for this. And I'm hoping and praying it goes to this person. And if it doesn't, then somebody needs a kidney. This has to happen. So that's where we're at right now. And it's the greatest feeling in the world knowing you can actually do this.
That's incredible. There's a lot of things I would do for people. If a loved one, certainly, maybe I would have to examine that's incredible, because I'm not sure I would be ready to do that right now.
Yeah,
First
it
of all,
has to be
look at
correct.
me and then say, would you want my kidney? And I would say, take your chances on the registry. Because I can't take the rejection of someone saying, I just literally offered you my kidney, and you're like, nah, I'm good. That would be terrible.
That's very funny.
I can't take
that
the
is very
rejection.
funny.
The Full Exposure Podcast is brought to you by Metro Health, University of Michigan Health, and Dr. Peter Hahn, in appreciation of the creative and artistic visionaries who enrich our lives through cultural connections.